So, Hellcat owners, I just wanted to do another video. So, I was asked by somebody to actually do a video about the ups and downs of the Hellcat. We've heard a lot of them, and I'm just going to give you my perspective on what is really good with this car and what isn't all that great with this car. Mind you, remember, this is not a supercar, so you know sometimes we get mixed up with the standards of what we just bought. Granted, it is not a little chunk of change. It is kind of a chunk of change here, somewhere close to $70,000. You're wanting a nice vehicle, but remember, when Dodge made the car, what did they make it for? Where did they put their money? And we all know they put their money in certain places, such as the brakes, the engine, transmission. All those upgrades really cost a lot of money. Now, the rest of the car is just another Dodge Challenger. So, with that, we have a few flaws. So let's talk about where I feel that the Challenger comes up a little bit short. So the first thing I want to talk about is fit and finish. All right, fit and finish leaves something to be desired. Not bad, all right, not bad for an American car. However, there are a few areas in which the fit and finish could be better. All right, a lot of people say the panel gaps aren't that great. I don't really see the panel gaps as being too much of an issue, but if you look at the bumpers, the paint colors are a little bit different. I think that's common with a lot of cars, but it's pretty common with these cars, especially when you have the pearl paint. It doesn't necessarily match perfect. So the second thing isn't that great are the Hellcat vents. Okay, you have the extractors. Well, the extractors are just made out of cheap plastic, and those things just kind of wobble, and they'll fall out really easy. And when you're cleaning the car, they'll just pop in or pop out. I think they could have probably did a better job. They probably could have used maybe an aluminum or maybe some kind of metal to make it a little bit more sturdy. I think they could have did a better job with those vents. Something to be desired there. So, another things, okay, the seats, all right, the seats, Chrysler. $1,700 for an upgrade for seats, and these seats are at 8,000 miles of wrinkling. All right, it's a known issue. I think, especially the early ones. My car is number 147, so it is a very early car. So as a result, I think that the seats probably could get better. I'm gonna turn this radio off. And but the comfort could be a little bit better. There's a lot of adjustability, but not that much adjustability. I've ridden C63s and other cars around the same price point, and I think the seats could be just a little bit better, a little bit more contouring to really fit you in there. They're pretty flat in the back and flat in the bottom, if you're a really big guy, I guess it's all right. But if you're just kind of a smaller guy or medium-sized guy, it's hard to actually find a comfortable position with it. All right, so let's talk about the other things that are a little bit disappointing with the car. So the tires, all right, the tires, I get it. You know, you have the Pirellis. I have really no problem with the Pirellis. I think the Pirellis are not a bad tire if they're warm. However, the wheels. All right, I had taken off the wheels. I did my tire rotation about a week ago, and I was really disappointed that Chrysler had put these 20-inch wheels. I think they're something like $4,000 or just under $4,000 for a set of 4 if you're going to buy them from the factory. And after I took them off, I was like, well, they got to be pretty special. They got to be made in Italy, or maybe they're made in America. Nope. Guess where they're made? They're made in Taiwan. Taiwan. All right. Chrysler could have done a better job with that. I'm just gonna say straight up, Indiana has a Enki wheel factory. All right, realizing it's a Japanese company, but at least they make the wheels here in this country. Why couldn't they get Enki to make these wheels right here in this country? No, they had to ship them all the way over to Taiwan to make them. And on top of that, they charge almost $1,000 a wheel or over. So that's a little disappointing. The wheels themselves, they're pretty good. They balance out pretty good. I have really no issues with those. All right, so moving on to the other complaints. All right, and they're really minor. They're not that big, but let's look in the interior. Okay, Chrysler did a pretty good job as far as the layout is concerned. I think that the layout is really right on par with a lot of cars. However, when you start looking at the materials and some of the things that they did within the interior, I'm going to maybe nitpick here. But I think you'll start noticing what I'm noticing, and you'll wonder, why did they do the things that they just did? So, I turned the camera around so we could take a look at the interior. Everyone's seen the interior of a Hellcat before. Well, this is my Hellcat, and I just wanted to touch base and let's really start taking a look at the surfaces of the car. Okay, so when we look at the surfaces of a Hellcat, okay, it's kind of dark in here, I'm sorry, but there are a few things that really rub me wrong on the inside of this car. First, I'm going to start off with the lack of consistency of materials. Okay, right here we have this nice, what looks like a carbon fiber inlay, and then right here you have like a brushed aluminum, which looks really nice. All right, I think they probably should have went with that theme. So Chrysler, tell me why would you use these chrome shiny bits around the other bits, the other things? Why not just use the aluminum? But no, we have three different surfaces that we use here. Here we have the aluminum, then we have the carbon fiber, and then we have the shiny stuff. Then you come all the way over here. What's the SRT? What? Do we really need a shiny SRT vent? So when the sun is at your back, it shines in your face? Does that make sense? Really, doesn't make sense. All right, sir. So let's shift all the way over, and we're going to go right to the start button again. Okay, we have a red button, and then we have this nice aluminum trim. Okay, then we have aluminum brushed over here. Okay, but then we transition back to the chrome. All right, doesn't make very much sense, people. Doesn't make sense at all. I think they could have done a better job. And then when we look down to our handles are chrome. All right, but then when we look at our switches, they're kind of plain Jane. Kind of look like they came out of a dart. I think they could have probably did a better job with that. So, all right. So I've done my complaining about the inside. The inside, I think they should have been a little bit more consistent with the materials. I think they should have either used the carbon fiber, brushed aluminum look throughout, but they decided to use the chrome, the shiny, and the ostentatious look of a lot of the inside pieces. All right.